Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the Instant Match Reaction. I'm Paul Machin. Chris Pajak is with me in the studio. Liverpool 0, Man United 0. Thoughts, feelings?
Honestly, the way the game went towards the end, well, first half I thought it was, if it had ended after the first half, I'd have said it was 2 points dropped. But as it turned out, I think it was 1 point gained because I think Manchester United had the best opportunities there, Paul.
Yeah.
It's mad that, like, you know, I'm going to give City the 6 points, right? So they're 4 points ahead of us. We basically haven't won for a month, and City are only going to have a 4 point gap. It was the 19th of December, wasn't it, when we beat Crystal Palace?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous. The 17th of January. We've only scored like one in the league since then, haven't we, or something like that? It's been mad, hasn't it? So hopefully after having a month off, our lads should really come back well for the rest of the
we
season.
Just get the lads back now. That'd be great. Yeah, that'd be absolutely amazing.
Because Salah, Firmino and Mane haven't done fuck all for a month.
Haven't seen them. Haven't seen hide nor hair of them. It's mad. We're here to talk about the game. What I'm not here for is to I've seen a lot of people putting a big cross through this season like it's done and dusted. Like there's so many more twists and turns to this.
They haven't played every side once yet.
I mean, this is the most important point.
You've got to play them twice.
Yeah, and we haven't even played them all. You know, I completely get this is the kind of point I've been hammering home, and it's one of those points that is only a valid point if Liverpool actually get a bit better. And someone said, like, if Liverpool play in this form, we won't win the league. It's like, no shit. Of course we won't. We won't get in the fucking top four if we carry on playing like this. If you don't win games of football, then you
fucking hell, it's more basic than that. You need to score goals.
Yeah.
We're not scoring goals. That's the problem, isn't it, at the moment? And, you know, the front three have always needed quite a lot of shots to score goals. They've never been the most lethal of finishers at any of them. Salah's had that season where he was, to be fair. And so he can do it. But they're not even getting the opportunities at the moment. Like, Salah doesn't get a shot on target there. The one shot that he does get that's not blocked, it's through three defenders' legs and it's wide of the post. You know, Mane doesn't have a shot on target there, and I can't remember an opportunity where it's a good opportunity. Firmino, the worst finisher of the three, probably has the two best opportunities. The one where he scuffs his lines and De Gea saves it, and the one where it's back stick with Maguire, which Maguire gets in the way, but it's a good opportunity, I think. That's the problem. Like, Klopp spoke after the game, didn't he? You know, we're creating chances and stuff. We had a lot of shots. I'm not sure we created clear-cut opportunities there, whereas United did.
Well, he said the problem is that, like you said, that the lads who don't necessarily score all the shots, but they normally believe that more will come, and that's fine. But more aren't coming at the moment, and this is the thing. I thought it was a fine. That game's fine. The problem is that at the minute we've just clutched a bunch together, and so you can't unlink those results, unfortunately. And then we have looked a bit toothless, to say the very least. We could do with clicking at some point, and because the thing is, there's loads of mitigating circumstances around all this stuff, and the problem is that this is now 4 games out of the last 5 where we're discussing these things and what have you. First half, I thought we were absolutely fine. I think there's a couple. There's been some people saying, "Oh, X, Y, and Z." I thought, yes, Firmino decision making and what have you, but he linked attack and midfield really well in the first half. You know, that Shaqiri getting up in support, loads of quick little passes, building wide up to the point, and then being left with two things where you can either play someone in down the channel, play Mane in, or play Robertson in, or stick it central, stick it into the feet of Firmino, stick it into the feet of Shaqiri, and then make things happen. I thought the first half was very, very, very encouraging in terms of building a game of football. But we needed to step on from there, and we didn't. Like, the second half, we didn't get better in the second half. We weren't even as good in the second half as we were in the first half.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think for the first 20 minutes, certainly, you know, Manchester United midfield weren't involved in the game. And I think that McTominay and Fred got a better handle on what Firmino was doing. Because actually, I think probably halfway through the first half, we probably started to see Firmino's influence wane. And it was probably about the time when Salah and Mane switched places. And I'm not sure it ever really recovered then.
Yeah.
And that was it. So I think a little bit of both. I think sometimes you think Liverpool should do better to kick on, but also take the red tinted spectacles off for a second. I think United did a better job of containing that space.
Yeah, United did really well, and it was interesting. I thought the narrative that Sky was spinning at the end of it when they were asking Maguire about, like, is that a missed opportunity for you when they're playing with two DMs? And I liked the fact that he clearly was like, no, because they are good, their defensive record, blah, blah, blah. That wasn't an opportunity. And I think Man United were very solid. I thought it was, I've seen a lot of people saying, like, X player wasn't very good or whatever. Like, Shaw had a really good game. Salah was a bit crap, but Shaw was excellent. Their centre-back pairing dealt with so much. And there's a couple of times where they're really throwing the body on the line and blocking stuff, but, like, they had a really good game. The defenders, the goalkeeper, very little to do. What he had to do, he dealt with well. Similarly, Wan-Bissaka was solid going the other way. Look at the whole team. I thought Fred was okay. McTominay was okay. I've seen a bit again. I think it was Goldbridge talking about Pogba. I actually thought Pogba, and you can see what a good player Paul Pogba is. Bruno Fernandes was probably the only disappointing player. I think maybe Martial didn't do it. Yeah. But given the how much he was hyped up and what have you, but it was just an okay game of football. I thought it was a really intriguing game of football. I thought it was a really good game of football.
Yeah. Not from the perspective of Liverpool didn't win the game. As a spectacle, yeah. I thought that was really good because there was two contrasting styles of football that played into each other's hands, yeah. And it was a bit of a chess match in that way. Yeah. From a fan's perspective, no, it was horrible. It was tense. Yeah. Liverpool weren't having the better of it towards the end of the game. Manchester United, if it felt like someone was going to get a winner, it probably felt like it was going to be United.
One of the things I was saying on the fan reactions, which is a bit annoying, is because Liverpool have to be a possession-based side now because everyone gives us the ball. And so in the last year, we transitioned towards being very good in possession and very good at just grinding teams down until eventually they crumble and we score the winning goal by hook or by crook. What's happened is we've upset, all the injuries has completely upset what we do in terms of that dominance of a football match and the intensity's been robbed by the pre-season thing and the injuries and all that kind of stuff. And then just in terms of like the fluidity of build-up's gone because we've got too many lads who are coming up to fitness and the rest players not playing in the right positions, etc., particularly the midfield. But nobody's looking at it and going, Liverpool, there's blood in the water today, let's go and capitalise on Liverpool. And everyone's still playing it very smart against Liverpool, and we just don't seem to have an ability to go a bit
spark to go on that bit further.
We just don't seem to have that extra thing at the moment. And sometimes it's a little bit of luck. I think we could just do with a bit of luck because there's a couple of times where they get a toe and it drops away from Liverpool players and what have you, and when your luck's going for you, when you're creating this pressure and you're creating this pressure cooking environment, players do daft things, and Man United players were doing those daft things, and that's why I thought we played well first half. They were starting to make mistakes. I mentioned it in commentary, we were cutting out the passing lanes really well, we were blocking things down, we created a couple of half opportunities or turnovers by stopping them from playing out from the back, but we just weren't able to maintain that for the full game, and some of that will be United getting a better handle on us. But you're left with it we talk about the substitutions. What do you do? Our best team was out on the pitch at that point, and you're left with Divock Origi. Fuck me, like
he did nothing.
No, I mean, what was the point?
Well, he had 5 minutes and he did fuck
all. No, and again, this is not a criticism of Divock Origi. It's just it is what it is. Kurt Jones was fine when he came on, absolutely fine.
I felt like when Kurt came on, he was doing the right things, but he kind of got into this position where he had the ball at his feet and he was like, where the fuck's everyone else?
Yeah.
Like, they just looked leggy at the time when Kurt came on.
I think Curtis Jones, I think we I don't know whether he succeeded to Trent's seniority, but Trent was up and Curtis Jones was picking the ball up at right back a lot, which Shaqiri definitely wasn't doing. He went back and got stuck in plenty of times, but Shaq's best work was being done
behind the strikers.
Yeah, exactly. Which he stopped doing in the second half, and which Curtis Jones didn't quite pick up the slack on later on, because I think we went back to let's engineer a crossing situation
from Kurt. Yeah, exactly.
And so we were left with a thing of where'd you kick on, and I've seen people going, well, Minamino should have come on. Maybe, probably, yeah. Again, take your pick. But if Minamino comes on, there's just as many people going, well, Divock Origi's a goal scorer. Why don't you chuck Divock Origi on for this senseless, toothless addition to what we're doing? We're still not quite there and not quite right. And the problem is there's no. I don't think there's an easy fix to whatever's going wrong at the moment. There's not like, I've seen again people saying, oh, Firmino's finished, take Firmino out. It's like, I'd love it to be that simple. And I'm seeing conversations of people just wanking themselves off over Erling Haaland and all that kind of stuff. Like, again, it's not a thing that's going to solve the problem now. And I'm also not prepared to write this entire season off 17 games in, or 18 games, I should say, into the campaign, because it's gone from clicking really well when we're top of the league to us falling a little bit short.
That's the other thing, there's a short-sightedness, I think, that comes just naturally with being a fan.
Yeah.
And because of the 24/7 news cycle and everything else, like, yeah, we have not scored for a few games. We're top scorers in the league. You know, and it's still mad, isn't it? Now, I think it's just this, like, it's just a moment that we're in as a squad, and a moment that we're in as a side right now. We've gone up against arguably the form team in the country. Mm-hmm. Them and City, it's one of them two of the form team in the country before today's game. And we've gone in with a defence that hasn't played together in that order. Mm-hmm. I stress that because Henderson played left side of the centre-half last time.
Yeah, good point.
And we've gone with a midfield that hasn't played together in Shaqiri, Thiago and Wijnaldum. Mm-hmm. And we've gone in with a front three that are lacking form and didn't play well today. None of them, you know, I think when you look at the player ratings that I give and that everyone else give on the channel earlier, goalkeeper, defence, midfield were all fine. But the three lowest marks on the day were from the front three players. Yeah. And unfortunately, they're our best players. They're the difference makers between a tight game being a draw and a tight game being a win in Liverpool's favour. And they're not clicking.
Well, yeah, and I think this is the problem. Thiago, you know, what's that, his third start of the season? First start at Anfield, which tells you how little football he's played for us, that we're nearly halfway through a season and he's not played at Anfield before. Shaqiri, does he ever play football? We don't know. You know, he's like, we saw
his first Premier League start, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you know, it's his first start at Anfield or something since December 2019 or something stupid like that. Like, you know what I mean? I think it's the Anfield thing. There was certainly something around that time. The point is, again, is that that was better than the last couple of games when we've seen them in, because you're seeing the sharpness and the fitness is starting to come back. I thought at the back, I thought Henderson playing left side of centre half was a much better idea than the other way around. I thought they both performed well, as you're kind of saying there. But the front three, there was a couple too many times where Mane's being given the ball well wide on either flank and he's running, and it's like, what's the point of him running? Because he's up against Wan-Bissaka, or he's up against Shaw, whatever, depending which side he's on, and he's never just going to be able to beat them and run free. And even if he gets past them, position-wise, he's got two centre-halves to get past and the goalkeeper. When we fell down, was what we were doing really well in the first half, was we were getting numbers, we were being brave, and that just fell off in the second half. And the problem is, again, I understand why that might be, and that might just be a fatigue thing, because, again, you're asking Thiago to play the midfield on his own. We brought Gini off, which is mad, for Milner, which I'd almost forgotten about until the word tumbled out of my mouth just then. Shaqiri's done in by that point, and you're left with the front three. All the good work was being done, was getting up and getting men around them and being brave and supporting them, and we ended up a bit flat again come the back end of the game. And it's fucking dead annoying, because it's, as I said, it's four league games on the back now, and we're never going to count the FA Cup game, because we shouldn't, because it was a friendly game effectively. It was something just to get a bit of sharpness into a couple of legs. We are in a really bad run of form at the moment, and I don't. The problem is that this team needs to drag themselves out, because that team that was out there is more than capable of winning most games of football. There's more than capable. They should be capable of scoring goals. I don't have a simple solution for it, because I can't be arsed with we're missing Jota. Well, we haven't had Jota prior to this season, and we've got all the players and more, because we've got Shaqiri fit as well. We've actually got more lads available to us than we've had in those situations, you know, in previous seasons.
And we know it's a leadership thing. We know it's the centre halves, and I think when you take the emotion out of today's performance and you look back at this season, whether we win the league at the end of the year or not, like, Van Dijk is a huge thing. Of course it's a huge thing in Joe Gomez, but it's that knock-on effect. It's not just what Van Dijk does to the defence, it's what the midfielders had to do to bail the defence out and everything. But we can't keep talking.
We definitely trusted the defence more.
We did, and we played really well. You know, for the first half, I thought we were brilliant. Like, we didn't create those clear-cut opportunities, but up until the final third, I thought we were brilliant.
If we'd scored in the first half, I don't think anyone goes, well, that was against the run of play.
Exactly, that's the point. And look, I thought the referee was okay today. I thought there was a couple of silly fouls, but blowing at half-time when we're clear through on goal. Like, if you're playing Pro Evo or FIFA, you shout for it every half-time, don't you? Yeah. You know, I'm through. But they were genuinely through on goal then.
It is mind-boggling. Like, mind-boggling that he would, like, what the fuck is he doing there? Like, genuine, like, if you talk again, and I don't believe in refereeing corruption, by the way, in this country.
I believe in refereeing ineptitude.
Yeah, 100%. But if you want to make it, this is like all the people who are like COVID deniers and seek evidence. And like, if I believed there was refereeing corruption, I would be looking at that and going, sorry, hold on a second. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck's he doing? There's 5 seconds left of it, which sounds like nothing, but you don't get it. It's true. And it might come to absolutely nothing. Or that might be the one fine moment where you finally crafted a clear one-on-one opportunity for one of your good players to take on. And he's decided, he's gone, no, whistle. Madness, absolutely madness, and I hate that. I hate the fact that I come across like a really fucking bitter, salty, twisted human being because I'm putting it down on this point. But like,
you are.
When am I out? Yeah, of course I'm the referee.
I brought it up, I'm the same, mate.
He's played less than the fucking what? It's only a minute. It's literally 1 minute. Don't bother. Don't even bother. But unless it's up to 1 minute of additional time. Like I can't. It baffles the mind.
There is one positive to come out of today. I thought anyway, other than a point. I thought Trent's performance was much better than it has been.
Yeah.
And hopefully people are talking about that online.
We had a couple of comments saying that he was lost in it or whatever, which I said on the fan reaction, I completely disagree with. I thought that was a good Trent Alexander-Arnold performance, particularly given we've said it before. He's the team's targeting. Man United have had a lot of joy out of Trent, over the years, getting him behind. And because I thought defensively, I thought the amount of times he was one-on-one with Bruno Fernandes and gave him absolutely nothing.
Used his strength, shouldering people off the ball as well.
Showed him the right way. Anticipation, like anticipated which way he was going to go when he's dropping the shoulder. That's one thing that Trent's been a little weak on. I mean, the archetypal thing that Trent does is where someone cuts inside. Nico Williams has got that weakness as well. A lot of fullbacks have, to be perfectly honest. It's how Phil Coutinho scored so many goals. But he was just so, he didn't throw himself in, he didn't overcommit. The amount of times that he just got a toe on something and blocked the pass off and shut them down. That was the thing about it. Our defence was playing really well. Their defence was playing really well. Our midfield was more dominant in the first half. Their midfield was a bit more dominant in the second half and stuff. And it shows, I don't know, they've got a bunch of players who are all up to speed, all without having major injury problems, major consistent injury problems and what have you. And also their game plan suits. It's a game plan that's yielding results against Liverpool at the moment. Be strong, be compact, try to use pace out wide to stretches when you can, and then when there's 5 or 10 minutes left to go in the game, throw absolutely everything at us, and we've then got no choice because knowing that we're a bit weak, I think all of our bravado goes completely out. What remains goes out the window in that end, and we were too busy clinging on. One last question before we go. I've seen criticism for the short free kick at the end. Thoughts?
Well, the way that our free kicks and corners were going, I can kind of understand it. You're trying to work an angle. I think the plan was play it short, hit Fabinho at the back stick and hope for something. It hits Fabinho at the back stick. So you can't really argue with the execution of the short free kick, can you? Yeah. It's the fact that Man United picked the second ball up really well. Yeah. That's the problem there.
Exactly my thoughts on it as well. Because I'd said, it was funny because I'd said if we played short, I'm going to scream. And I thought it was quite funny that I actually ended up going, okay, I can see that, because if they stand it up and we get nowhere near it, they had us all day. And this is the point. You've got no Van Dijk, you've got no Matip, even Gomez is not the tallest, but we're lacking. We're really lacking in that department, and Man United are not. and Man United were very much embedded at that point. It was a nice idea. That was the problem. We had the things that didn't come off, and you get no points for nice ideas that don't work out. It's just, and it feels doubly annoying when it's on the back of bad result, because it feels like that. You feel like you're clutching at straws, whereas I don't think we are. I think it's fair to look at the things that were okay and didn't quite break for us, because otherwise, what's the point? What else are we going to do? Sit and have a big cry in the corner? No.
I could be happy with Alisson's performance.
Yeah, I do Alisson. I mean, that's the proof in the pudding there. You need world-class players to turn up, and he's turned up. He's won us a point, and you would go back to your point at the top. What Liverpool have got to do moving forward now, and look, a draw away from home for United against the top team is always a good point. You can build title successes on those. We've said this plenty of times. Fergie did that. Your biggest rivals, the ones who are going to be there or thereabouts in the league, go and steal 2 points from their yard and beat them in yours. And then if you get any more than 4 points, you've fucking smashed it there. My hope is that that was a bit of an opportunity missed for Man United to maybe put a little bit of distance between us, because I don't think you're going to catch Liverpool any worse than they are right now. I think this is as bad as I hope. I think this is as bad as we get, and this is as weak as we get, particularly defensively. We need to sign a centre half. I don't know that we will, but it's fucking stupid if we don't. Or we've just got to pray that Matip somehow manages to get through the rest of the season, which is very, very wishful thinking. But with Liverpool playing a centre-back pairing, that's the second game they've ever played together. The first time, as you rightly pointed out, they played on those sides of the defence together in a team that's in form, that has a lot of talent. I hope that we look back on that, where if Man United fall short, but hopefully below us, then we go, thank fuck they didn't throw more, or thank fuck for Alisson, thank fuck for all those kind of things. But
also, like, flip side, I want to say, I want a centre-half as much as the next man. Trust me on that one. I really want Liverpool to sign a centre-half. I think it's massively important if we want to win the league this season, which we should do, and we are capable of doing, by the way. But there was something there with that defence when we had the ball, first half, and even defensively second half, the two of them did brilliantly. But there's the shoots of something in the midfield as well. With that midfield three, I could see that midfield three doing really well. I want more out of the front three.
Yeah, well, I still maintain, you're right, that definitely. But when we play well, the midfield it all comes from midfield, and at the moment it's not quite there. Now my hope, and I'm still clinging on to, it's just about sharpness, and match sharpness is going to aid that, because it doesn't look like we're going to be. Jordan Henderson's probably going to have to play a lot of games at centre half at this kind of rate if we don't buy someone.
But that's not a bad thing necessarily, because what's the one thing that we've not had there? Consistency.
True.
So actually a bit of consistency, although it does hurt the midfield, and I know that's what you'll say, because I agree with that. Yeah. And it would be right to say, at least having that consistency gives us a platform to go and build a side that plays that way.
That's the thing. The problem is that if we use Reece Williams or Nat Phillips at any point back in that back four, my feeling is a bit like, what's the fucking point? Because if we're going to go with that, and if we want that enough that we're prepared to not play Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, who are centre halves regardless of their level, then Jordan Henderson will have to sacrifice play. The only way Jordan Henderson doesn't play at centre half is if Joel Matip's fit.
Yeah.
For the rest of the season now. If that's what they're saying, I'll be dead annoyed if that's not the case, because the midfield needs to learn to function without Jordan Henderson, if that's the case, because that's the problem we've got. It's not about that. Jordan Henderson was fine at centre-half, and Fabinho's been really good at centre-half, all told, but the midfield is badly lacking both of them, so we need to step up. The midfield needs to improve. Shaqiri needs to be fitter and consistently fit. Naby Keita needs to just fucking get on the fucking pitch for once. Kees Jones needs to carry on his development. No pressure on him. He's a young lad. Oxlade-Chamberlain, big pressure on Oxlade-Chamberlain to get up to speed. And Thiago will be Thiago, and Wijnaldum will be Wijnaldum. But it's possible that we can kick off from here and get better from here. And I would fancy us to do that. But someone else needs to own that. Yeah. We need 4 or 5 lads to be fucking on it. I think,
in the midfield. I completely agree. Like, there was a midfield earlier. The main partnership for a large crux of this season was Henderson, Wijnaldum, Jones. I don't think that Thiago, Wijnaldum, Jones midfield is any worse.
Shouldn't be.
Se.
It's shorter.
It's shorter, definitely. Completely agree with that. But from a ball possession standpoint, it should be better. there are things that Thiago doesn't do as well as Henderson and vice versa. But if you can get them three playing consistently well, brilliant. My thing is it a season too soon for Jones's consistency to be there from now until the end of the season?
No pressure on him whatsoever. It's Oxlade-Chamberlain, Naby Keita.
Yeah.
There's never been a better opportunity for... Maybe. But definitely for the two fucking midfielders who can both play on that in Jordan Henderson's position, like the two lads who we spent 70-80 million pounds on, and you know, for a variety of reasons they're not getting on the pitch. If they don't step up here, then we will, because again I think it all boils down to that midfield. We need more energy, we need more creativity, we need more bravery, and I refuse to place that blame on Curtis Jones because he's 19 years old and he's been outstanding for his age so far this season. We'll get more and better out of him at times, but there's no excuses. If they can't stay fit, they can't stay fit, and that all boils down to it. If Oxlade-Chamberlain's not ready to make that influence and Kate is not prepared to make that influence, then it's fucking badly negligent that we're not buying a centre half, because you need Jordan Henderson in that midfield without a shadow of a doubt. But
quick question, because I'm sure the comments will be filled with, you know, we're missing Jota, and we absolutely are. When's he fucking back?
No idea. He was on a knee brace the other week, so no time soon for Diogo Jota. But that again.
Dang it.
Burnley up next, Man United in the FA Cup after that, and Tottenham Hotspur. Three teams that play lovely, open, expansive football.
You could talk about it. Throw us in with them now.
Yeah, definitely. Right, we're going to be doing the final word show. If you're a club captain or club legend over on YouTube, you get access to that show. We're streaming live on the YouTube channel on Monday morning. If you're subscribed to the redmentv.com, you get that and all of the extra bonus additional shows. I fully fledged Liverpool streaming service, documentaries, interviews from legends past and present, just amazing content. So if you need cheering up, if you're just miserable, you want to sit in a hole, go and sit in a hole. No one will begrudge you that in any way, shape or form. But if you want something Liverpool related to keep you smiling, then do subscribe to the redmentv.com. Yes, we shall see you all very, very soon, Monday, no less. Have a good evening. Ta-ra.